Here I am. Today, I just wanted to share something with you and give you the opportunity to maybe feel seen, understood, or not alone. This time right now seems to be like a birthing channel or something like a threshold. You're in between the old and you're right in between the new. To me, it feels like I've been in this place for a while now. And even though it shows up in different ways, in different life parts, in different ways in relationships, um, where I find it mostly is within. First of all, the way I'm thinking, the way I'm feeling, the things I want or want not, the things I believe about myself and the world. And there are so many ways how it expresses that are not really visible to the outside world, but only to me. And I don't know how you feel about this when you kind of catch yourself in a moment and you're like, this is weird. I normally don't act this way. Or usually I would say yes to this, but now it feels like a no. And not just on a, for a moment, but there's something deep, deep, deep inside of you that makes you feel like, nah, that doesn't fit anymore. And I really have those experiences a lot right now going on. And it's unsafe, or I would say uncomfortable, because it's something I don't know. But at the same time, I feel deeply empowered. And I don't know how that makes you feel. There are moments definitely where I can say I'm so scared. I have no idea what's coming next. I've just come from a season that uh, was mainly about recovering. It was mainly about healing. It was about restoring the faith within myself in life, in all the, on all those different roles that I have in my life. And I know from many other women and also men going through similar processes. And if we look outside into the world, we can definitely see that the world is going through some stuff, and we can call it whatever we want, and we can project onto others and everything on the outside as much as we want. But the question actually, first of all, every day is, what happens within me? What is it that wants to be felt and seen and thought of? What am I actually processing? Who am I? And not in a the question of who am I is not a question of this is it and it's not going to change, but who am I today? And what do I want today? Um, I really would like to share this with you because I feel like there are many people going through similar things, but everybody in his completely own and individual way. And that makes it sometimes hard to, you know, share it with, even with people that we know and feel close to. I'm lucky. I have to say I'm lucky. I have a few people in my life that I get to be myself with completely, I would say. I mean, I don't live everything out with them, but I have a few people in my life where I'm like, they know about all these processes. They know about all these things that I'm going through. They know, and I know what they're going through. And we can even laugh in those deep conversations. So I hope that you have someone that is creating that space for you too. And if you don't have that someone, be that someone for yourself as much as you can. Because I also know how it is if you don't feel like you can't talk to anybody, or you literally don't have anybody surrounding you that you can't talk to. Because the most important thing when it comes to sharing your most inner parts is that you feel safe, whomever you talk to. The other thing is that through this whole shift of, I would say, identity, namely the thoughts I identified with, the feelings I identified with, the beliefs I had about this world and about myself I identified with. Um, this is a shift of identity. It namely, or what it does is that it completely rearranges my inner world. And of course, I am who I am in this world. And the change that is happening inwardly is not so much visible on the outside, which is not a bad thing. Because what I've learned is whatever I want to change, I have to start within. Because otherwise, it's just like, a wishy-washy, unstable thing. So through this shift of identification within me, I don't really know what I want. I don't really know what I want to do. And that's nothing new. I never really knew what I wanted. I had glimpses, I had impulses, I had this flashes of energy or whatever it was. Like I had all these moments. But I started to ask myself the question, what am I actually burning for? And what if this fire or this burning, this heat, this wanting, this desire for this creative energy within me, what if I never really had access to it because it felt too threatening and dangerous for me to do that? And the what if question is answered for me already, but what if you had never access to this part of you that actually not just pours out into other people's lives, but also receives something back? And what I mean with receiving is that you feel joy, that you feel alive. And that doesn't mean that there is no troubles or problems or challenges or confusion or conflict. But I feel like I know there are things in my life that fuel me and not just take from me, and not taking in a bad way, because whatever we carry within also need a place to go to. So I just wonder if you find yourself in a similar situation where you're like, I'm not this and I'm not that. I don't want this and I don't know what I want because it's not visible yet. And we mostly in this moment, we stick to the old because it's something we're used to, and the mind will always stick to what it knows. So there's nothing wrong about doing the old stuff. And there's nothing wrong about trying something new. But where I find myself is basically being more in observation. I'm just observing myself, and there's this sense of, why is this door moving now? There's the sense of, hold on to it for a little longer, stay there a little longer, wait a little longer. Because it feels like my whole life is not crashing down, but every type of security I had is completely falling away. And I don't know what that means. Because I always jumped into security nets that kept me in a certain structure. But this time I feel like I don't want to go there. I don't want to live that way. And it costs me faith, trust, and patience. Patience with myself. So I don't know how you feel. Do you feel a similar thing? Something that keeps you, you feel like, ugh, I can't quite move forward, but I also can't go back. And it's frustrating, and I want to do something, and then I feel like, it's been a waste of time. Or, it's like jumping to conclusions and from the left to the right. But maybe it's more about holding this tension, balancing it out, or allowing it to balance you out so that you don't feel frustrated or you don't get pulled to one or the other. I think that's it. I think that's what I want to share. And if you feel a similar thing, just leave it in the comments, share it with me, or share this video with someone who maybe feels like, or where you feel like going through a similar situation. I just want to let you know it's a good thing. This is a good thing. This is a beautiful thing. Even though it doesn't feel that way. But I think wherever you are, you will not just get through this, but you will flourish like a flower, maybe. Or like whatever else. You will burn like fire. It doesn't have to be sweet and small, but I just want to let you know. Hang in there. I'm Jen. Nice to meet you. And that's it. That's it. That's it.